Yo, what's going on, team? Welcome to The Detail. Today we're going to be doing a quick discussion on whether or not you use a Bluetooth in-ear device when you are driving your principals. So using that Bluetooth for GPS navigation. If you see in the clip that I posted before this video, I'm asking a few questions like, do you use it? Why or why not? And what are the pros and cons behind it? So that clip I actually posted on the EP Detail Instagram, which if you're not following, you should. I'm gonna put it right here down below so you can go check it out. And I asked those questions and I actually got some pretty good feedback. And that's really the entire goal behind this YouTube channel and Instagram page. Aside from sharing memes and laughing, it's to engage and get feedback, ask questions, because these type of things, at least in my opinion, I feel are things that, we do on a daily basis, but they're things that aren't necessarily covered in any EP school or academy or anything like that, or close protection academy. They're things that maybe are mentioned as passing when you're going through, driving your principal, but they're not things that are really discussed in depth. So that's why I asked the question, because I noticed when I'm working that some people do and some people don't. So I'm gonna give you guys my breakdown, what I used to do, what I do now, and my personal experience. So let's just start off with the Bluetooth device that I use, which are just the first version of the Apple AirPods for a few reasons. One, it's what I have, right? Two, a lot of people have these. The whole idea is to try and blend in, not really draw attention to yourself, and you don't really look out of place if you have AirPods in. And then how you use it, this is super basic stuff, but you got to mention it because there's always someone out there. I take it and put it in, I put one in my left ear. As I'm driving, my principal's usually sitting to my right and behind me. This still allows me to hear what they're saying, have a conversation with them. Also, again, I shouldn't have to say this, but you should not have two headphones in when you're driving, even when you're not working in an EP capacity, but especially not when you're working EP. So I think the primary advantage of the Bluetooth when it comes to our job is that if you have it on turn-by-turn directions, you don't always have to be staring down at your phone, and you can focus on your primary task at the moment when you're driving, which is obviously getting your principal to their location safely. And if you have to be constantly looking down at your phone and looking at directions, this has happened, right? This has happened to me before, and I'm sure it's happened to you. You're looking down and maybe you don't see that pedestrian crossing. Maybe you don't see that car in front of you braking because you took your eyes off the road for a split second. And then all of a sudden you're swerving out of the way or you're hard braking to not run into that car. And that's definitely not what you want to have happen when you have your principal in the car. Again, I think the motto for our industry, as I've said before, should be situation dictates. I tend to use the Bluetooth a lot more when I'm in an area that I'm unfamiliar with, right? So if I'm driving somewhere overseas, in a different city, in a different state, then it's almost 99% sure that I'm gonna be using the Bluetooth. If I'm somewhere that I am familiar with, that I frequent, that I drive around a lot, then I might forego having to use it. Another reason where you might not use it or you might not need it is if you have a full itinerary and you're able to advance these locations, a day before or however much in the future as possible, and you know where you're going, and it's pretty simple. I would say that if you don't need to use it, then probably you shouldn't. My hesitancy to use them in the past was, before they became what they are now, it used to be a bigger type of Bluetooth device. And for me, it just didn't seem very professional to have that on me all the time. I would have to, disconnect it, reconnect it, take it off, remember to put it back on. So that's why in the past, I didn't really use it as much as I do now. But other than that, I think for me, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. A lot of what I do is in solo operations. So I don't think there is really a substitute for having the Bluetooth on GPS. Now, if you're working with a team and your only responsibility is to drive, then perhaps you can have a little bit more leeway. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it's common practice and good practice that you don't have your phone on volume when you have a principal in the car. Also, something else that people brought up in the comment section is if you have your Bluetooth connected and an incoming phone call comes, you can deny it. It doesn't ring. It's less distraction for your principal, less distraction for you. So these are just some of the reasons, some of the pros to why I think it's a good idea. Some of the cons to that are probably the main one that I can see and I understand is your situational awareness. Maybe it distracts you from being able to be 100% aware of your surroundings from that side. I don't really find that that's an issue because it's not like the Bluetooth is playing music or something that's constant. Something else that was brought up in the comment section is that some of the Bluetooth devices are noise canceling. So if you have a noise canceling one in the left ear, then possibly that could be a con and maybe a different situation. So maybe find one that doesn't completely cancel out the outside noise. And also, on a side note, if you've driven in a different city that you're completely unfamiliar with, or even worse, overseas, you know how kind of nerve-wracking that is when you're unfamiliar with the exits and kind of the layout of the roads, and it's telling you, and you have to look at your GPS and there's, forks and roundabouts, and you're like, I hope I take the right exit. So having it having the Bluetooth in your ear and having it tell you like, in the next 100 meters, take the exit, is just a little backup for you to make sure that you get to where you're going without any issue. So that wraps up this video discussion. Give you guys my feedback. Let you guys put your comments in the comment section below. Who knows, maybe somebody sees this, maybe they have a better alternative, something that I haven't thought of, something that I haven't done before or haven't seen before, which I'm all about. In the future, I want to come up with a title for these type of videos where it's just more of a discussion. So if you guys have any ideas for what this little kind of series of videos could or should be called, also leave those down in the comment section. I'll take a look and see if anything sounds good. And until then, remember, situation dictates, and stay safe.
I'm a professional.
That's what everybody keeps saying. I'm just a professional. Everybody keeps saying that to me. I'm just a professional. I'm just a professional. I'm getting sick and tired of hearing that. You understand?